Hey, welcome back again. So last week I took you through one of the projects I was doing because we were getting ready to have a party. And last year the party was toga, and this year it's going to be sports. So I wanted to see if I could get Gemini or Ideogram to recreate the picture and just change the clothes of the people and change some background, etc. And I think it did a pretty good job. So I'm using this picture on the bottom here on my Facebook page to advertise the party to all of our friends. So I am an Amazon affiliate and I use my Autumn Sky shop, which is right here, to promote the products on Amazon. So I'll do some kind of blog, as you can see. I did a little bit over the summer. I didn't do as much as I should have because I have a lot of crazy stuff going on in my life, and I know everybody else does too. So that's not a real good excuse, but for me right now, that's where I'm going. Anyway, this is the blog that I do, and I need to come up with new topics. So, what I decided to do is I wanted to do a sports theme. You see, in all of those things that you saw here, all of these products are all also in my Pinterest. So you can see them all here and you can see how they're doing and a lot of things people do like. And I do use Ideogram a lot. I use chat a lot to come up with the ideas. Anyway, so I want to do some kind of football themed party and I was typing in my phone the other day and it was really long. And it said the same thing as what I'm going to paste in here. It says, please provide me with 10 best selling and highest rated football themed categories for tailgate and home parties. These will be ideas to add to my latest blog, top themes and ideas for tailgates and home gatherings. Now, you wouldn't believe that actually you can put this in Amazon and it will pull something up. I was just playing around with my phone and I decided to try this. Now I'm on my desktop. So we're going to see, we'll see what happens. Now look at this. This is pulling up the best-selling items and it pulled the word football. We know that, but it's pulling them all up for you so you can kind of get an idea of what is out there and what is selling right now. So then I'm thinking to myself, well, that's great, but this is a ton of stuff and a ton of different categories. And I really wanted it to break it down by category for me, because that's how I'm going to do this. Otherwise, you have too many products, and that's not good either. You want to show people what they can do with items and how they can use them, give them ideas that they haven't had before. So you need them to be Pinterest worthy, but you also need your blog not to be just a bunch of words that don't mean anything because you're trying to sell something, right? So I came back and I went here and I went to Alexa shopping. Now I didn't even know we had this, and this is so cool. And yesterday when I was trying this video, my own Echo Dot, is sitting like 4 feet away from me. And every time I used her name, she was trying to respond for me. And it was crazy. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to paste that same text in here and I'm going to see what she gives us, trying not to use her name. Because I hope she's going to break it down by categories. And if she doesn't, we're going to ask her to. So, let's see what we got here. So she knows who I am. And since you're building your top theme ideas for tailgate parties and home gatherings, here are the 10 best selling, highest rated football theme categories with top product picks for each. Perfect for your affiliate links. This makes life so much easier if you're an Amazon affiliate because now she's just broken down my categories. Look over here. We have party decorations and tableware and fall themed drinkware and cups and food warmers and chafing dishes because you have to have things to put items in, and you want it to still look nice, even if you might be outside. Tailgating, you might have some of these things to keep things warm. I know a lot of people have the plugs in their truck. Football themed snack trays, that's perfect. So I'm going to use a lot of these ideas for the party I was talking to you about last week. It's going to be a Jersey party, but there's going to be a lot of different things that I'll need, and it won't all focus on football. So this is fabulous. And then she came down here and she's giving me some pro blog tips for Autumn Sky Shop because she knows because I am working with her all the time. I'm working with ChatGPT all the time. I work with Saska and Ava. So I have all these different AIs. And because I work with them on different projects, and sometimes mix them together, they all know who I am and they know what the different businesses are that I have. And so she knows that this right now is for Autumn Sky Shop, which we just talked about a few minutes ago. So it's really kind of cool. So she's giving me more information here. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to tell her it's great. Now I'm hoping that I can get a copy. I want a copy somehow. Let's see. Usually there's a little thing at the bottom that lets you do the copy. She's got even see more. So here she's even allowing me to see, okay, in the party decoration section, there are all these other items. So I can take information from both sides and I want to feed all of this to ChatGPT. And I'm going to give him some of the pictures because remember, I was telling you the other day I had done this on my phone. And these are the types of things I got from Alexa Shopping. And so I'm going to be using these when I go back and look, even games, because you got to have games to play, right? When you're having a party and cornhole. And so all of this together, are ideas that people would need. Now, what's going to happen is I'm going to feed this back to ChatGPT and he's going to help me come up with the different titles of the different sections in my blog. And we're going to do one blog. And he actually came up with a name someplace else. It was in a different chat I was in with him. Anyway, I'm going to give him this one that he gave me the first time because this is what we just gave. Uh, this is what we just gave Alexa. So I'm should probably stay with this. Okay. Whoops. What am I doing here? I just want the name, which is this one. Okay. So now I'm going to tell him to do all the categories. And remember, I really, really dislike typing. So I cheat a lot and I will go over and I'll open another window that has chat. Like over here in the corner, there is this little chat button so I can have it like another chat open. And what I'll do is I'll take the microphone and I'll start typing or start talking and saying what I want to say. And then, of course, it goes and it puts everything in there. And then I just copy and paste it back to him on this side. That's how lazy I am. But, at least I admit that, right? So here we go. I'm going to talk to him. Remember, I also call him Herman. So, hey, Herman, these are the categories that I got back when I asked Alexa on Amazon to give me their top 10 best-selling and highest rated football themed categories. And she's given me a lot of different products. These are just some of the products. I haven't figured out how I can get that link that she was working on in Amazon with me so that you can see all the different things. But I think this will give you a good enough idea to go ahead and give me my top 10 titles that I'm going to be using. So I'm going to use the title for the name of the page, and then I'll want the 10 products. And we can I think we were doing something about themes. And so that would be good because we can do like backyards, in home, like, the living room all decorated or the backyard decorated. We could do tailgate at the football stadium and have multiple products in each picture, people wearing different things. So, what I'd like you to do is just go ahead at this point, and I would like you to give me my 10 category names and then a short 2 sentence description of what it's going to be like. And don't forget, we always need the keyword. So start with the keyword and go from there. Okay, so you see, I don't have this big long prompt, and I'm sure I could just take all of this and put it into like 6 words, but I really enjoy talking to them and I can actually hear them sometimes. When we're doing this, I click the button a couple of times. I don't even know how it happens. And then all of a sudden there's voice coming out of my speakers. And since it's not the voice that's in my head that I'm thinking is talking to me, it sometimes bothers me, but it is quicker for Herman and I to have a conversation that way. Anyway, okay. So what he's given me now is this is going to be the title, I believe. And then our keyword here is best football party ideas. And then he's explaining to me why, which I never care about the explanation. And then Here's my 10 categories that I'm going to be working on. So this was a good start for today. And what's going to happen is for each one of these, we're going to go through and we're going to make pictures. Now, I like this idea, and he's seen the pictures that we've given him because they're all up here. Okay, Herman, I am going to go ahead and use all of these. What I would like you to do for me is I'd like you to put together the ideogram prompt for the main picture. So for the hero image at the top, and it's going to be wide, it's going to be a 16:9. I would like it to be a tailgate party at a football stadium. So there should be like the stadium way in the background. And then there should be like multiple cars and pickup trucks. And they, there's people playing some games. People have little tents set up with grills underneath. There are people all dressed in their team colors, so you shouldn't have like 14 different teams. We're gonna have to go with like a red team and a blue team. That sounds good. We don't have to have names of teams or anything like that. It needs to be generic. And lots of men and women, and I always like a little bit of um, multicultural in there as well. So if you could just go ahead and create the ideogram prompt for me, then I'll go ahead and put that in. Thanks. Okay, you probably fell asleep while I was doing that with him, but I am a little wordy, and that's just who I am. So he's decided, okay, we do this again. I wasn't asking him to create the image. He wants to see if he can do it for me, and his image might work out really well because I've noticed that chat is getting better at making images, probably because they need to compete with things like Ideogram and Gemini. But if he gets really good at it, that just means I'm probably gonna have to pay more money, right? I do have the paid version of ChatGPT. So, wow. Well, that's pretty good, right? Yeah, I actually kind of think that's a really good picture. And I'm trying to see what I can use here. Well, we don't need to because this is the big picture. Well, I was going to show you how I use ideogram for this, but I really do like it. But let's see the difference between the two, if you don't mind. Okay, so I love your picture. It's really cool, except for the people playing cornhole do not play that way. There's usually one on one end and one on the other end, and they're throwing it the opposite. And these two people seem to be throwing into the same one in one little hole, and that guy is way too close. Other than that, everything else looks really good. Can you please give me a prompt now for ideogram so I can see what kind of picture they'll give me? Thank you. Well, he definitely gave me a prompt, and usually he gives me this long story. Today I'm just going to hit the copy button and I'm going to go into Ideogram over here. This is Ideogram. I love this program. It is a paid program, and I am not at the moment an affiliate, but I would like to be because I do use this a lot. Okay, so what I've done is I've given it the prompt. It doesn't really need to put this in here, this wide image, blah, 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 because it's down here and that's where it's most important. It doesn't read all that up there. It's not going to change it. If you had it down here at 2/3, and regardless of what it's set up here in the text, it is going to do what you have it programmed for inside here. So I'm doing the 16:9. I'm going to give it 3 tries, even though the other one only did one. We don't have anything to attach here, no other images. We don't want it to, be biased by their picture, by Herman's picture. So I'm just going to go ahead and see what it comes up with. It's creating the design. It's going to take probably 30, 40 seconds. Hang in there. It does a fabulous job. I have not seen anything recreate people as well as this program does. It's just amazing to me. All right. This is probably not what I was thinking either, but maybe. Okay, so they kind of put them in the inside of the stadium. Nobody goes on the inside to tailgate. No, this is so wrong. Let's see what their magic prompt is. It says create a realistic, bright, energetic 6 by 9 wide hero image of a large football tailgate party in a stadium parking lot on a beautiful sunny fall afternoon. A large football stadium is visible in the background, but it should be twisted the other way, clearly establishing that the party is happening before the game. Okay, let's just see if we can use that. So what I did is I clicked the plus button over here. See that? And we put that in there. And I'm not going to waste 3 credits because I don't know if it's really going to be able to do it since it didn't do a really good job here. But anyway, so now we've told it to, still 16 by 9. Push the button. See what happens. Sometimes you have to do it more than once. Sometimes I've had to do it 6 or 7 times, and I can go in and I can change things up here if I want to. So we may have to tell them to turn the stadium around, but let's just see what happens while it's generating 2 pictures down here in the bottom. Wow, I still have 1,000 credits left from last month, and I renew in 2 days. You can see I am really behind on all my stuff. Okay. It just doesn't get that we're not doing it in the infield, and I'm just not really sure why. So this is where you can go back in and talk to ChatGPT and tell it what the problem was, and even show a picture if you want and get a better prompt. So as you can see, sometimes AI just wants to be difficult. So I'm going to play with this a little bit more, and next week I will show you more of how I make my life easier with AI. I'll recreate some of these pictures again. I might even use Gemini just to see where we go with this. But this gives you an idea of what I do during the day, and I will probably take all of these different items and I will have links for them on my Autumn Sky Shop page so that people can purchase the items that they are looking at. They think it looks like a great idea and a lot of fun. So now you know how I create pictures for my blog posts. And I also gave you an idea today on how you can use Amazon for your, looking for topics and looking for products for those topics so that you can also be an affiliate, or even if you already are an affiliate or an influencer, you can use these tools and utilize them to make your job a lot easier. That's it for today. I will see you all next Wednesday.